Hi, folks. This is Don Meisner with the North Country Fishing Report. The other day I was in Walmart, and this was in Ogdensburg, and one of the sporting goods workers there, Rusty, that's his name, and I've seen him there for years working in there. And I was looking at something on the walls, and he came up to me and he says to me, "Do you ever use a lure in drop shotting? In other words, did you ever use like a plug, like a Rapala or something like that, drop shotting?" And I said, "No, I never have." He said, "Well, I've had people coming in saying they've been doing that and they're really catching fish." And I said, "Well, that makes sense. Why wouldn't they?" And when you think of what a drop shot bait is, and when we talk about how in the St. Lawrence River drop shotting is the way that most of your top anglers are catching all these bass. And what it is it's a simple way of basically, and I'm going to put this very simply, drifting in the current naturally with your bait drifting naturally down there along the bottom. It can't be on the bottom because the gobies would attack it constantly because that's where they live. But they can't get up higher. So a drop shot, you have a sinker at the bottom, and then maybe a foot or 15 inches or 8 inches, whatever you decide is the best distance above, you attach a single hook with a small 3 to 4 inch bait on there that is it drifts in the current itself moves that bait naturally so it looks like something swimming. And that's what these smallmouth go crazy for. And in most cases, it's a soft plastic bait that resembles a little bait fish or a goby or something. So why wouldn't, if you're letting the current move your bait, why wouldn't putting a little crankbait down there? Why wouldn't that work just as well? A crankbait works because you reel it in, and the motion causes a resistance against the water and causes it to wiggle back and forth like a fish swimming. Well, if you have it attached down there the same way, the current moving against it is going to cause it to wiggle. And why wouldn't the fish hit it? You know, this is how new techniques spring forth with fishermen going out and thinking and experimenting and trying new things. And this certainly makes sense to me. And I'll bet you more of you could go out and try it. And you could use just about anything. Drop shotting is really just a way to put your bait where the fish lives. If you're drifting down the river, you've got to keep it at the same depth. They're not going to change depths in most cases just to go after your bait. So if you can keep your bait at the very depth that they tend to be, and most of the time, unless fish are aggressively chasing a school of bait or something, they're going to be staying as a group, sort of just staying at the same depth. And so that's why drop shotting is so successful. So it's just another method, and I'll bet you it would work. And it's to give you folks new thoughts that are passed on by other folks. And that's really what I'm trying to report. Ideas, techniques, happenings, things that are happening in our area. Until next time, folks, this is Don Meisner with the North Country Fishing Report.